Hello and welcome to Computology Academy. And today we are going to discuss about the Manjhi Pargana administrative system. And before we start our class, I would like to request you to please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new videos or whenever we come live. So here when we go on to discuss about the Manjhi Pargana administrative system, so basically it is the traditional administrative system of the Santhal Pargana region. So as we all know that in total there are 5 divisions in Jharkhand, and among them Santhal Pargana division. Santhal Pargana region is one of the prominent region, tribal area dominated region, and that lies in the northeast direction of Jharkhand in the Rajmahal Hills region. और वो जो फेमस जामताड़ा का रीजन है वो जामताड़ा डिस्ट्रिक्ट भी इसी रीजन में है, ठीक है. So here there is prominence of the tribal group of Santhal tribe in this region. So what tribe we found here? We find Santhalis. Santhal tribe mainly in this region, and this is the traditional Manjhi Pargana administrative system is the traditional administrative system of the Santhal people. And the Santhal people, Santhal tribal group is one of the largest tribal group in Jharkhand. Here, according to last census, the population of Santhal people were 24 lakhs according to the 2011 census, and the latest census have not been conducted because of the corona pandemic and thereafter various other issues and the political regions. But whenever the latest census data will be up there, then we will come to know that this will be definitely increasing. The number of Santhal people will definitely increase in Jharkhand. And here this traditional administrative system, tribal administrative system of Santhal people is known as Manjhi Pargana administrative system because the village headman, the headman of the village is known as Manjhi. The name of the village headman is Manjhi. He is the head of the village and he is the head of the internal administration as well as maintaining the external affairs of the village with the other villages. So in case if there is any inter village dispute, then in that case he will communicate about the dispute and discuss about the dispute with the village headman of the another village, and thereafter they will sort out the issue according to the nature of the issue and according to the verification of the witnesses. And he is also the highest judicial authority within the village. And apart from that, one more thing is there that the Manjhi was having the right to collect tax. In other tribal administrative system, what we have seen that the tribal headmen, the village headmen, were not collecting any kind of tax. But here in this tribal administrative system, the village headman was also collecting the taxes from the people of the village, and he was the head in any case, that is the judicial, administrative or legislative, whatever you say, right? And he was having one subordinate official also who was known as Pranik. So the Pranik was the subordinate official of Manjhi, and he used to act as Manjhi. He used to dispense all his duties of Manjhi whenever the Manjhi was unable to fulfill his duties or when he was absent due to any circumstances. And whenever there was any discussion going on any issue, and thereafter in any case they had to pronounce the verdict, then the pranik used to pronounce the verdict or the punishment in any cases which have already been discussed by the Panch and the Manjhi, and accordingly the person used to be punished. एंड देयर आफ्टर टू लुक आफ्टर द ऑफिशियल वर्क्स, पेपर वर्क्स, वैसे वहां पर ज्यादा पेपर वर्क तो होते नहीं होंगे. देन ऑल्सो the secretary was also there to the Manjhi, and the name of the secretary was Godait. Godait was the nomenclature given to the secretary of Manjhi, and he was a kind of communication person, also communication in charge. He used to communicate all the decisions of the Manjhi to the villagers, as well as whenever there was need to commence any sitting of the Panch, then he used to communicate that there is a panchayat going to be commenced on any particular issue to the related Panch of that village. And he was also the treasury of the village. He used to look after all the taxation matters, all the receipts and the expenses of the taxes within the village. And as he was the tax officer also, he was the treasury also, so he was having all the demographic data of the village also. He was having all the information related to the demography of the village, how many peoples are there in any family, and how much land is every person is having in the village, and all those kind of things, all those kind of informations used to be with the Godait. And thereafter there was a youth administrative system also existed in the Manjhi Pargana administrative system. And here the deputy secretary to the Manjhi used to be the youth leader, and his name was Jog Manjhi. Jog Manjhi used to be the deputy secretary of the Manjhi, and he was having all the information of the marriages and other related issues of the village. So he was the person who was attending all the marriages of, because of being a youth. So सबकी बारात में जाके नाचेगा कौन? So that was the issue, and because of that he was aware of all the marriages in the village and all those kind of things. And that is why this youth leader used to have all the related knowledge related to the marriages. And in case of any matrimonial dispute, he was the person who used to dispense the issue. Matrimonial disputes were being sorted out by the Jog Manjhi after hearing all the witnesses and analyzing all the evidences. He was the person who used to pronounce the verdict, and he was also having a deputy to him, the deputy youth leader you may say, and he used to be the Jog Pranik. Like the Manjhi was having Pranik as his deputy, so same as that, Jog Manjhi was having a deputy to himself. He was named as Jog Pranik. And thereafter the Panchs were known as the Bhagdo Praja, and that is Bhagdo Praja, which means that the important persons of the villages attending every meeting for the discussion, right? So these Bhagdo Praja people were the people who were attending all the meetings of the village panchayat, and they were the elderly people, and these elderly and respected people were selected from every community. So one or two person from every community, whether it is the Pahan community, whether it is the Manjhi community, or any kind of community that is related to the Santhal tribe, and they are residing in that village. So these people were selected as the Bhagdo Praja who used to attend the panchayat meetings, and as they were the elderly people, they were aware of all the traditional and cultural attributes of the Santhal tribe, and as well as they were more learned people with experience wise terms, as there was not that much of the literary work going on in that period, and that is why most of the people were not so literate, but the practical experience used to be the thing through which they were getting the information and the knowledge of the practical life, right? And thereafter there was an official who used to be named as Laser Tungai, and he was a kind of army chief of the Santhal Pargana tribal group, and his name was Laser Tangoi. Laser Tangoi was the person who was a kind of army chief or the organizational head that protected the village from the external attacks. So in case of any external attack, he was the person who was responsible to protect and preserve the security of that village. And Tongai, like in the tribal language, Tangi is the word that is used for X, and that is why Tangoi was the name that was given to the organizational head of their armed forces, or not in that sense they were having the armed forces, whatever it is. So he was named as Laser Tungai because the Tangi or the X was the main weapon through which they were fighting to the other tribal groups, and that is why the Laser Tungai was the name given to the person who was heading their armed forces. And here the nomenclature for the priest in this tribal group is different. In this tribal group the priest was named as Naike rather than Pahan. Here the nomenclature changes, and here the Pahan is not used the name for the priest, and the priest was named as Naike, who used to administer all the religious rituals of the village as well as the festival rituals, and he used to solemnize the marriages in that village. And he was the person who became used to become very important whenever any religious crime came to surface, and in any religious criminal cases he used to examine the witnesses, and thereafter he used to pronounce the verdict, which used to be respected by all. And he was also having a subordinate priest who used to be named as Kudam Naike. And this Kudam Naike was subordinate to Naike, and here Naike was the person who was responsible for worshipping and looking after the gods and goddesses which were located within the village. However, Kudam Naike was the deputy, so definitely the senior officials are not going to do too much of hard work. So Naike used to worship the gods and goddesses who were located within the village, while the Kudam Naike used to worship the villages who were located outside the boundary of the villages, that is in the forested region, for which they needed to travel some distance, and so it was a hard job. And that is why the Kudam Naike was the person who was responsible for looking after and worshipping the gods and goddesses who were located outside the village. And this was the whole administrative system which was there within the village limits. And thereafter, above the village administrative system, there was a higher level authority administrative system also, and that was Des Manjhi or Mode Manjhi. So the Des Manjhi or the Mode Manjhi was a group of the Manjhis, that is the group of the village headmen of 5 to 8 villages. Here a group of the officials of the 5 to 8 villages were there, who used to be called as the Des Manjhi or Mode Manjhi. And if in any case the case was not being resolved, or if the verdict has been pronounced but the person is not willing to respect the verdict that has been pronounced by the Manjhi, then those cases were brought to the Des Manjhi or the Mode Manjhi, and thereafter it was relooked, it was reassessed, and thereafter a different verdict or the same verdict, whatever the case may be, were being pronounced, and the person was forced to respect the verdict. And if in any case, if the person is not willing to respect that verdict also that has been pronounced by the Des Manjhi or the Mode Manjhi, then in that case the Pragnoth used to came into picture, that is Pragnoth. And here around 15 to 18 villages, the group of 15 to 18 villages used to make a Pragnoth, and this was the higher level authority than the Des Manjhi or the Mode Manjhi. And in this Pragnoth all the Manjhis and the Praniks used to be the member of the Pragnoth. However, there was a Pragnoth head also, and the matters which have not been resolved at the Des Manjhi or the Mode Manjhi level, or the person is not willing to respect that verdict that has been pronounced by the Des Manjhi or the Mode Manjhi level, then those cases used to be brought to the Pragnoth level by the concerned village from where the case originated. So the Manjhi of the concerned village was responsible to bring the case to the Pragnoth level. And here one recently added post is also there, that is Susaria. Susaria. And this Susaria is the post for the Sabhadyaksh or the chairman of the meeting. So the Susaria used to conduct the meeting smoothly, and this position does not exist in all the areas, and this is a recent addition. This post is the recent addition in the Manjhi Pargana administrative system, and this didn't used to be existing in the traditional administrative system. But as everybody knows, wherever there will be huge number of people discussing on any issue, then definitely there is going to be some kind of hiccup, some kind of friction between the members of the meeting. So to conduct the meeting smoothly, the post of Susaria was created. And next post is Chaukidar. So in case if Chaukidar, if any person against whom the complaint has been filed to the Manjhi, Des Manjhi or the Pragnoth level, then if the person is fugitive, he is trying to escape the verdict, or in some cases he is an evictive person, then the Chaukidar used to arrest the culprit, and he used to arrest the culprit by the order of Manjhi, and thereafter he was used to be brought to or presented in front of the Panchayat. And this post was also not there in the traditional administrative system, but this post is also a recent addition. And the last and the highest level of Manjhi Pargana administrative system was the Disum Pragnoth. Disum Pragnoth. So this Disum Pragnoth is the highest level of the Manjhi Pargana administrative system. And here when any matter didn't used to be get resolved at the Pragnath level even, then such issues were brought to the Disum Pragnath level, and thereafter the Desh Pragnath or the Disum Pragnath or Disum Pargana level person used to pronounce the verdict on any issue which was not being get which was not being getting which was not getting resolved at the lower level. So this was the administrative system. This is in fact the present day administrative system also in the Manjhi Pargana traditional administrative system, which is still functional alongside the modern day Panchayati Raj administrative system, which is according to the Constitutional Amendment Act of 73rd and 74th Amendment Act. And here, last but not the least, I would like to inform you all that we have launched the test series for 67th BPSC mains examination, and here the test series are being provided for geography optional and history optional. And here the geography optional test series is in English medium, while the history optional test series is in Hindi medium. And in both the tests there are 8 tests where you will get 5 sectional tests plus 3 full length tests, and these tests are designed specifically according to the that of BPSC test paper mains examination pattern, and this is going to be very helpful for you all. So those who are going to appear in the mains test examination of BPSC, they can go on to purchase this test and also visit our website. There, apart from the BPSC test series, various other courses are also available, and the courses are available in both offline and online mode. So those who find the courses beneficial for them can go on to purchase the courses over there. Thank you very much and have a nice day.